What did you like about how you guys were able to close out tonight?
Well, just the flow of the game, I thought, for us was challenging because we couldn't, get going early. We missed shots, but I thought, we were talking about it, timeouts, just to hang in there and keep defending. Then eventually we started making a few and made a few more, and we kept guarding. I think the end of the game, it wasn't perfect by any means, but we haven't, being in a close game against a veteran team, particularly against I've had the unfortunate experience of playing against James in the playoffs, and I had flashbacks to just his kind of artistry. So when you have a player like that on the floor, it's tough to win close games. And, he made plays, and we made our fair share of them as well. And we made them collectively, too. I think a lot of guys contributed. And so being in a close game, in spite of some mistakes, being able to overcome them and, make winning plays when we need to, that's an experience for us that, I don't think we've had on that level this year, and hopefully one we can draw from.
One of the things that stands out, of course, is Veets night from 3, career high 8. He's one of those guys that you talk about that's always working. For him to come in a close game like this and hit a big shot, what does that say about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'd mind me sharing this, but a few days ago, we talked about. Really, I just wanted to know how much confidence I had. I mean, it sounds really hypocritical if you're saying that to a player and he's not playing. And sometimes the stay ready moniker doesn't feel loaded with a lot of sincerity, but it's true, and he's done it. And I think as much as anything physically, which he's done, mentally, the toughness that he's shown, and you saw the result of that tonight. Obviously the shooting, but I thought the way he defended and the way he competed. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. If the shots, obviously, went in tonight, they may not go in as many of them in another game, but he was competitive, and I thought that was maybe the most significant thing. And when that does happen, you feel good and feel happy for him.
Quinn, what has Porzingis done to make an impact in so many ways while, also getting acclimated with new teammates and being in and out of the lineup?
I think there's times in the game that he settles us. You can't, as committed as we've tried to be and are going to continue to try to be to playing with pace, the whole game isn't like that. And, during those situations, to be able to play through him, whether he's, getting a bucket, drawing a foul, or one of the things that I think we'll continue to emphasize is, he can make plays too. It doesn't have to be, us playing through him for him to score, although that, that's a big thing for us because he can generate a shot. So I think that's one thing. His teammates have a lot of confidence in him, and I really feel there's the ceiling's higher than you're seeing right now. There's some things as he's acclimating to a new system and a new style of play. I think he's going to continue to find new opportunities offensively. But the ones that he's finding now, whether it's a post-up or an isolation at the nail or a trail 3, I mean, we've seen him do that. And I want to keep challenging him because I think there's more there.
Yeah, on that note, whenever Trey's back, what do you think KB can do for his game, and what can Trey do for his?
Yeah, I guess they're two good players that play well together, but right now, and Trey makes everybody's job a little easier. I thought, JJ and Trey were one of the best pick and roll combinations in the league. So everybody's impacted. Kristaps as well. With Trey's absence, Trey's able to find, little windows to pass to people, whether it's, a pick and pop situation or just kind of seeing the court and knowing where someone is in transition. So I think they'll continue to learn to play off of one another. And I want that to be within some of the things that we're doing, because I think they can be really good, whether it's a switch or really in transition too. If we can get Kristaps to continue to do this, because that's an area he can run. We just got to, keep prodding him to do it.
Coach, obviously, with a guy like Trey, you lose a lot as far as playmaking and ball handling, but we've seen guys like Jalen and Dyson really take on some of that load. Both had 8 assists today. How have you seen them? Obviously, you don't want to see Trey out, but how does that kind of help them, that development as playmakers and seeing more attention?
Yeah, there's always a silver lining you can choose to look at or not. And you always miss a player of Trey's caliber. But as you said, we need playmaking from other positions. And as I've said, it's not just one guy. I thought Jalen tonight, his ability to get in the lane and the decisions that he made were the best he's made all year. He was getting deep into the paint. And as a result, he was able to finish. And then he also was able to find people because he was under control. He wasn't necessarily, he takes off and leaves, goes off one foot and finishes as well as anybody. But it's the times where he's getting in there and he's cut off and he's got to have poise and use his strength and his balance. And when he does that, the game slows down and he's able to find people. And I thought we saw that tonight in transition, but also in the half court, particularly when the game slowed down, giving him an opportunity again, not just to score, but to create offense for our team.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.